So, you're thinking of making a move to the Mont Belvieu area. In this video, we're going to review some pros and cons of reasons why you may or may not find this area your next home. If you stick around to the end, we're going to review my favorite pro that a lot of people might not even really know about. I didn't learn about it until I got engaged, and it's just a nice little location. So stick around to the end. My name is Troy Tomlinson. I'm a real estate agent here in the Mont Belvieu area, and I would love to help you make this area home. Whether you're looking to make a move tomorrow or in 10 years, I would love to connect and help you determine which Houston suburb fits your needs best. Starting off with the pros, right? First off, Mont Belvieu is a very family-friendly area. They have tons of parks. They have tons of restaurants that offer great options for the kids to eat, great options for the kids to play. The city is actually installing a playground kind of right next to one of the big shopping centers. There's a huge, public park, tons of stuff for the kids to do. They're always hosting events out at the park, right? On Christmas, they bring, fake snow out. They host, a lot of our homeschool events are hosted out that way. There's just a lot going on that is centered around kids, right, or families. And a lot of the reason, or a lot of the pull for that reason, is because they want their family, they want their children to go into the school district that's there, which is going to bring us into pro number 2, which is their schools, right? Barbers Hill School District, which is the school district that's there in Mont Belvieu, is highly accredited, highly ranked throughout the state, and people come from all around so that their kids can, be Barbers Hill Eagles. And, it's definitely, a great place for your kids to go to school. And then you can check out more information because I can't really dive deep in it. But if you click the links below, it'll have their information as far as, rankings and all that kind of fun stuff. But they are top notch. Pro number 3, proximity to Houston. So Mont Belvieu is roughly 35 to 45 minutes away from downtown. It's going to be 30 minutes, 45 minutes to, IAH, 45 minutes to Hobby Airport. So it's nice and close to everything that you might need as far as proximity to Houston. Affordable housing, pro number 4. So Mont Belvieu is a little bit more expensive than, say, Baytown, which is another area that we covered in the past couple of weeks. And they're not cheap, but on the north side, you're starting in the 350s up to 700s. And then on the south side is kind of the more affordable side where you can get into homes for as low as like the 220s. And if you look on a map, right, I'll show it real quick. On the north side, there's a little space called Old River where there's, some older subdivisions that occasionally will have properties pop up that fit a lower budget. But then always on the south side, in the Joseph's Cove neighborhood, Rain Tree, Legends Bay, right? There's homes there starting, like I said, as low as the 220s up through the, low 300s. So, there's definitely some affordable housing there. Kind of going back to pro 1, but pro number 5 is they have a very strong safety concern, or a strong community and safety, right? It's a very, small town vibes. The school district doesn't really take crap from anybody. They end up on the news all the time for it. But it's, they have their rules and their values and they kind of stick to them there. It's, if you walk through there, everybody's wearing Barbers Hill blue. Everybody's got their Eagles gear on. The local, places to eat, play the freaking football game, the high school football game on their big screens. It's definitely, it's almost a college town feel, honestly. because everybody's just, from elementary, everybody's an Eagle all the way through. You get to high school, you're still an Eagle, right? They got North Eagles and South Eagles, but everybody's an Eagle. And, even the community really rallies behind the, school and the just close-knitness. When you watch, say, like the movie Friday Night Lights, that's basically Mont Belvieu. I'm comfortable saying that. Pro number 6, outdoor recreation. Well, as you'll see in some of the previous videos, there are tons of park options. And this particular spot is going to be that secret thing I'm going to stick to at the end. But they have, the Hackberry Park, where you can go fishing, you can go kayaking. It's nice and quiet. You can go for a jog in the mornings. There's not necessarily a bunch of stuff for kids to do there. So you can enjoy the outdoors right there in the middle of town. So that's nice. Right across from that, they have a nice big dog park. And then they have the city park, that's just, north of there, where they host their little league teams. They have soccer fields. They have playgrounds. They have a skate park. They have ponds that they stock with fish. So there's a ton of stuff outdoorsy to do right there in the little, small town, which of course is ever expanding. So that's a pro or con, depending on which way you look at it. But it is definitely an area that is expanding in size and volume. But, you can check out some of the other videos on all the development that's going on there. And you'll get a much better feel for it. All right. That's the pros. Mostly. There's, of course, a lot of things that, are going to be subjective to your opinion on if it's good or not. But that's kind of my list. And then diving on into the cons, first off is limited entertainment, right? There's not a whole lot to do if you're not a go hang out in the park type of person. In the last couple of years, they've opened 2 bars. You've got Cocktail Lounge, that's on the north side, and then you have, oh my goodness, what is that? There's like a Western saloon on the south side of town, and they have, that's actually a lot better, but I can't, the name's slipping my head right now. But they've got washers and all kinds of stuff that makes it a really good, entertainment option for the evenings for those that are 21 and up. But as far as for kiddos, there's no bounce world or trampoline parks or anything really like that. Probably the only thing that's nearby is going to be the Showbiz, which is technically in Baytown, I think. But it is, 10 minutes up the road, so we'll include that. But that's about all there is as far as entertainment. Lots of food, though, and lots of outdoor options if you're into that. A second con, which is another one of those, depends on how you look at it, but the area is highly reliant on the oil and gas industry, right? When oil and gas is doing well, the area flourishes. Lots of people have jobs. People buy lots of houses. And then when oil's down, we run into, some stagnation in the area. Luckily, oil's up a lot of the time, so it's normally a great time out there, and you don't have to worry too much about it. But there are the times when oil takes a hit, and the area feels it for sure. If you are commuting, right? What's this, con 3? Con 3. If you're commuting to downtown Houston, depending on the time you go, right? If you go in a normal time of the day, it's a 30 to 45 minute drive. But if on the I-10 bridge going across the San Jacinto River, there's an accident or something, or the Fred Hartman Bridge gets shut down, or the 90 bridge gets shut down, that's kind of the 3 crossing points to get from Mont Belvieu into Houston. You're gonna run into some trouble. When one of them closes down, it reroutes traffic to the other 2, and it's 4 or 5 days out of the year, it's gonna be a terrible time. But plan for it and call ahead, I guess. That's kind of, for the most part though, traffic's not terrible. 5 o'clock, when the schools are getting out and everybody's getting off work, kind of terrible. But other than that, it's decent. Healthcare. So there is no hospital, right? Con 4. There's no hospital. There are a ton of, we'll call it nearby. None of them are actually in Mont Belvieu, but just to the west in Baytown, there's a ton of urgent cares and, a Houston Methodist Hospital, which used to be the Baytown San Jacinto Hospital. So, there's limited healthcare in Mont Belvieu, but you're not super far from, tons of options. And then, of course, Houston is the medical epicenter of the world as far as, heart and neurological conditions. People from all over the world fly into Houston to get help there. So, again, that's an hour away. So, even though Mont Belvieu, if you, cut your arm open, you're 15 minutes from getting help, as opposed to 5 if you're in Baytown, or 0 if you're in downtown Houston, I guess. But, what can you do? Growth and development. So con number 5. Right? Again, this is one of those, it depends on who you ask. To me, as a real estate agent, growth and development is good, right? They build more houses. I can sell more houses. To the people that live there and have lived there for a long time and love that small town feel, they're losing some of that. So those people aren't so much happy. But the area is growing, right? Riceland, it's a new neighborhood that's going in. It's going to be a master plan community. They're going to have 4,500 houses. So, that's a lot of houses. That's a lot of families going in. 4,500 times what we'll call an average family of 4. So that's almost 20,000 people. I'm not going to do math because you'll make fun of me. But 20,000 people come into the area in the next, 5 years probably. And that's just literally one of the new subdivisions that's going in. And there's a ton. They did just move the Budweiser plant into town a few years back. We've got, Exxon off in the distance. On the south side, there's a lot of kind of those big 1 million square foot commercial places. All the stores, for Amazon and Floor and Decor, which is, again, depends on who you ask, a good or bad thing, right? If I can click a button and Amazon gets me my stuff in 45 seconds, I consider that a pro. But having big, ugly buildings near your house or on your route to what used to be a bunch of cows, some people don't like that. Con 6, public transportation. There's not any. You won't find buses, cabs, anything really. They got, sidewalks so you can ride a bike, and they've got Uber and Lyft and stuff like that. But there's no bus routes or anything of that nature. So, you'll need a vehicle. At least you need a, bike. Depending on the neighborhood you live in, you might be able to walk to the grocery store or to some different places to eat. But as a whole, there's not any sort of main public transportation. So in conclusion, living in Mont Belvieu is definitely somewhere to consider if you're looking for that family-friendly environment. You like to do outdoorsy things, and might not be your cup of tea if you prefer to, live in downtown Houston, where everything's walkable and you don't really need a vehicle, and there's tons of stuff to do all the time everywhere. You are in a suburb out in Mont Belvieu for the time being. Maybe in the next couple years that'll be different. But you're moving out away from Houston probably for a reason. So Mont Belvieu is a great place. So you should check it out. And then here's that sneak peek that I promised y'all. But you'll see it on every single one of my videos. about Mont Belvieu or this area, and that is the J.J. Mays Wildlife Trace. It is absolutely the best pro of the area. It's a specific place. I know it's cheating, but you can go out there, and again, this is a pro if you're into nature and stuff. But we go out there 2-3 times a year, go looking for alligators, go looking at snakes, do bird watching. You can go fishing. It's just a nice, quiet, perfect area to finish your week or finish your day even. If I lived close enough, I'd be there a lot more often. But it is by far the most gorgeous part of that area.